Hello, everybody. Uncle Bruce here, and today we have an interesting topic that Juvenile found. How you doing, Juvenile?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for asking. Hi, everybody.
So I'm going to show you the article here. I'll share my screen here, and then we'll get started. So this is the name of the article. It says, "Is there no such thing as Italian cuisine?" So this is an interesting topic because Juvenile, you have a little bit of Italian in you, huh?
Yeah, I like it.
A lot, probably, huh?
I think it's very hard to find someone that don't love the Italian cuisine or the
Okay.
Italian food.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, let's get into the topic here. So, why did you pick this topic? Because of your
Yeah,
ancestry?
no, I can say that. I think my origins is more to Portuguese.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Portuguese or even Africans. So, but what called my attention in this article is the controversial, about the Italian food because it's very iconic. And
Uh-huh.
I imagine for Italian people, you you say that their food is uh, not I mean I don't mean original, but it's something like their food does not come from Italy, but was developed mainly in US because of the ingredients or the the economic situation or the migration.
Yeah, that's what he was
So
that was what the author was alluding to, is that the fact that during the period of big immigration to the United States, South America, and other parts of Europe, there was a big
mhm,
plague that affected them. It's called pellagra, a disease caused by lack of vitamin B3. So there was a endemic, and a lot of people decided to leave the country. So there were a lot of poor people, and the diet was not very good. And they said that the pizza was created on the streets of, I think it was Naples,
yeah.
that people in Naples um, were the ones that basically originated this basic piece of bread made from leavened bread or dough, and then with some topping. And so they said that basically it was developed much more in the United States when the Italians immigrated to New York, to Ellis
Hmm.
Island, which is where the Statue of Liberty is at. And then they started to find different ingredients. They started to add these ingredients to this bread that they were accustomed to, called pizza. So
Hmm.
that's the hypothesis of this guy named Alberto Grangi. Okay, and
Yeah.
so he's a podcaster, and he's got other people that are writing with him. So he's causing a big stir, causing a big chaos in the Italian
Yeah.
um, culinary area of their society. So
Yeah.
it's something that happens. That people do move and they do take their cuisine with them. Um, I remember when
Sure.
I lived in Washington, D.C., that it was very interesting because you could find food from around the world. Because in Washington,
Hmm.
D.C., you have all the embassies representing the countries to interact with the American government. Okay, the president and all the other agencies. And so when they have these embassies set up, well, they need people to work in them and to process for visas and lots of things. And so when
Hmm.
the people from Italy, they go to the embassy in Washington, D.C., where they take their family, they take support staff. And so these people are there and they think, well, I'm not working in the embassy. What can I do? They start a restaurant. and they start creating
Hmm.
food from their society. And so it's really
Yeah.
interesting because I mean, I ate Jamaican food, I ate Ethiopian food, Somali food, lots of lots of different types of foods in Washington D.C. and the surrounding areas because they don't all live in
Hmm.
D.C. D.C. is a small area actually, but then there's also
Okay.
Maryland and Virginia, which surround the D.C. like district, like in Brasilia.
Hmm.
So, this is how the cuisine is brought from one nation to another is by people living in those other places. And then they are there for a period. They say, okay, let me start to do something that I can do. I can learn how to create the foods from my home country. And so they start restaurants and
Hmm.
people really like it. I loved going to these different restaurants.
Yeah,
That's
me
what I like
too.
in Sao Paulo. I like Sao Paulo. They have all kinds of restaurants. I like Thai food from Thailand.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I think this guy Alberto Brandi uh, has some. I think he came up with some interesting ideas. I have to agree. Okay, like the problems that Italy suffered
Mm-hmm.
along a lot of centuries or years, especially
Mm-hmm.
on uh, 19th century and
Yep.
20th century.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because, if I'm not wrong, until the first war or second war, uh, the geopolitical situation of Italy was not the currently that exists.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, uh, Italy, in truth, was compounded by a lot of how can I say independent regions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so um, Italian was not the official language. Uh, there were a lot of dialects,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and there was no unit, in terms of a political situation, economic, and something like that. So maybe some of the ideas of Alberto Grandi when he talks about that some ingredients did not exist
Mm-hmm.
at that time or some decades ago,
Yeah.
like bacon,
Mm-hmm.
like fresh tomatoes. I don't believe in this,
Right. Right.
but bacon can be or
Mm-hmm.
another ingredient. So I think this is the point. But on the other hand, if we think about Europe in general, uh, the same stuff could happen to France as well, but it's not. Nobody came up with this doubt about the French cuisine,
Right. Right.
cuisine,
Mm-hmm.
which is very important to the world as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I
So
don't know. It's hard to believe.
I mean, you said that you have Italian ancestry, but you have more probably Portuguese ancestry, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
with Portugal, what is the main dish that you could say is like a national dish for Portugal?
yeah. Portugal, in general, I think Europe, especially the countries near to
Mm-hmm,
Mediterranean
mm-hmm,
Ocean,
mm-hmm.
uh, not ocean, sea,
See, mm-hmm,
Mediterranean Sea, uh, has a very diversity in terms of ingredients, fishes, vegetables, because of the weather,
mm-hmm.
and
Well, one thing since I've been living in Brazil and having friends that are also with Portuguese ancestry, one thing that they really like is bacalhau. Okay.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
bacalhau in English is codfish. And
Mm-hmm.
so that is one thing that is basically a tradition for the Portuguese is the codfish with the potatoes and olive oil,
Olives.
onions, and
Yeah.
so it's very good. I wouldn't want to eat it every week, but some people do, especially people that are with Portuguese descent. I have friends like that; they eat that a lot. And another thing for Brazil now, one thing I've learned is that traditional food here is feijoada, which
Mm-hmm.
there is no equal basically with the exact ingredients of using different types of meats, black beans together. It's not something
Mm-hmm.
that we would say, oh, it's this name in America. It's just black beans with meat. But it has a
Mm-hmm.
special word here in Brazil called feijoada. And I heard that it started with the slave people and
Mm-hmm.
because they were given the bad, the parts that the slave owners didn't want to eat, the nose, the ear, and all that, and they would use that for their food.
Mm-hmm.
And they would mix it with the black beans, and of course spices from Africa, which made it with a really nice aroma. And so the white slave owners, or whatever, from Portugal, whatever, however you want to call it, but they would say, "Wow, what are you cooking there? Let me taste that." So when they tasted it, they were really marveled and said, "Wow, I want some of that." So it became a tradition that way. This is what I've heard.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard another version as well that
Uh-huh.
says the feijoada is a mix of African cuisine
Hmm.
and Portuguese cuisine as well.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Right, right. And so
Yeah,
what
it's
about
necessary
American? What would
to.
you say is American food?
Oh man,
I can
I
tell
don't
you,
know. It
I would say
yeah.
hamburgers. Hamburgers in general. Yeah, yeah. Hamburgers in
Mm,
general is an American. I don't know if it's an American idea because there's actually a city called Hamburg in Germany. So I don't know where the word came from, Hamburg, but I know that it's very big and prominent in American society. Not McDonald's and Burger King per se, but hamburgers in
hmm.
general. That's why they have so many different hamburger restaurant chains. Is because Americans love hamburgers. So that's a big
Yeah.
one. Then apple pie is a big one. Apple pie.
Hmm.
When people talk about as American cuisine, they talk about apple pie as a big thing. They talk about baseball is traditional American, apple pie,
Hmm.
and I don't remember whatever else, but you know, there are some foods that are
Yeah.
really part of the society.
It's very funny because when you talk about the traditional food of the United States,
Mhm.
I always think about the cajun,
The what?
cajun or cajun, the food of New Orleans,
Oh, Cajun food.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
Cajun is a
yeah,
mixture of French and Indian. That's where
yeah,
Cajun comes from. And they have different spices that they use and still use Cajun
exactly.
spices to create the food for that region. I think you did tell me recently you want to go to New Orleans, right?
Yeah, it's a place that I dream to go to visit,
It's on
to
your bucket list.
yeah, to know more about the culture. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think it's very, very interesting there.
Mm-hmm. I've never been there. I had some friends that went there last year, 2025. I think it was 2025 or 24. But I think it
Hmm.
was last year, last part of last year, that they went to New Orleans. They went to Florida, Disney World, and all that. And then they wanted to go on a road trip driving a car to New Orleans, which I don't know how long it took them, probably about 10 hours. So I
Hmm.
think they stayed overnight on the way, and then they got there and they stayed a couple nights and then came back. So that was probably about a 5 hour trip to go, or 5 day trip. I'm sorry, 5 day trip to go to New Orleans out of Florida. So anyway, yeah, New Orleans has its own cuisine. New York has its what they call, in Chicago has what they call a deep dish pizza. It's with a lot of dough on the side, on the exterior part, and good fillings
Hmm.
in the middle. That's a big one. There's also Philly cheesesteak, Philadelphia cheesesteak, which is like a big hoagie or a big submarine sandwich with beef and onions and Swiss cheese or mozzarella cheese. So it's a big sandwich there in Philadelphia. And then they also have soft pretzels. Have you ever had a big soft pretzel? It's basically dough with some salt.
Yeah, yeah.
I've had them. They're
It's
good.
it comes from Germany, isn't
Could be.
it?
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Yeah, yeah.
So
It's
very interesting.
yeah.
So the article is pretty cool, talking about the controversy that stirred up, and of course with
Hmm.
social media, if you become a little bit known and they start spreading that you're talking about something that's controversial, of course it's going to get a lot of attention. Ah, you're
Yeah,
talking about my mama and my grandma and great great grandma's pizza. You say, come on.
yeah.
So,
It's hard to believe that it doesn't. The for example, the cheese pecorino or
uh
parmigiano
huh,
does not come does not originate in Italy. So man, it's hard to
yeah.
believe.
Yes, it is. It really is. It really
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, when I was in the United
Porchetta.
States last, I bought one of these little handheld machines, and you put the cheese in there and you push down with your thumb
Yeah,
and you grind it to make the
yeah.
ground Parmesan cheese. I haven't tried it yet. I just bought it, so I'm interested to try that. It'd be interesting to try that. Maybe when you come over, we
Yeah.
can do that. We can try it over here. Yeah, yeah. We have to get together, man. We have to get together.
Yeah, yeah. I prefer the traditional way,
Uh
to
huh.
pick the cheese in one hand
Uh
and
huh. Grate
squeeze,
it.
not
Grate
squeeze,
it.
grate
Grate
it
it.
in
Uh-huh.
a yeah, grated in a
And a grater.
yeah.
Uh-huh. That'd be interesting though. I see him using it in the restaurants in the United States now. Like the restaurant, it's called Olive Garden.
Ah, okay. I heard
Olive
about.
Garden's American restaurant, but with Italian motif with
Hmm.
designs and things inside, and of course Italian type foods. So they use that in their restaurants. They say, "Oh," and they grind it. They put it on your food. They said, "Do you want more?" I said,
Hmm.
"Yeah, I want more."
Yeah,
I love
it's good, man.
Parmesan.
It's delicious. It's delicious. So this is another thing to to I think it's another reason to disagree with
Hmm.
Alberto Brent because the proximity of Italy to France
Hmm.
and to Portugal, to Spain. I think there was a big exchange of cultures, gastronomy between them,
Hmm.
and that's the reason that, as I said, in Portugal, they Portuguese people are very lucky because they have access to Pacific Ocean and the Mediterranean
Who's
Sea.
that?
So
Oh no,
the
Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic Ocean, right?
Atlantic,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, 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 the
Hmm.
Atlantic Ocean, and so the diversity of ingredients, fishes, vegetables is so big, you
Hmm.
know. And I think the same occurs to Italy.
Hmm.
So, man, and think about in France, because France, I think, was the maybe the most monarchy country or have a big history in around the royalty compared
Hmm.
to the others. So,
Do you like the
what the
cheese called
royal?
brie? Do you like brie?
Yeah, I
It's
like a
good.
lot. Yeah,
Uh
camembert, brie,
huh.
camembert, gorgonzola, and other stuff. Blue
Yeah.
cheese in general.
Right. Right. So listen,
So,
we're gonna sign off for today. It was a good discussion. I don't think we're ever going to
Mm-hmm.
agree 100% on whether it's a true fact or a myth, because we really don't know.
Yeah.
You know, some people are trying to stir up the pot to make everybody think, no, it's not real. It's not real. You know,
Yeah.
this is a recipe from only 10 years ago or 100 years ago. It wasn't for centuries, you know, which is what a lot of people want
Yeah.
you to believe. So, oh well.
And it's important to remember that Italy is not only pizza. There are tiramisu. There
Oh, I
are,
love tiramisu. And they say
yeah,
that's a recent recipe because you need a refrigerator to make it. You
yeah,
need refrigeration. I love tiramisu. Man.
arancini.
I
You
remember I
know.
went to a party with a woman making gourmet food and she had tiramisu. I
Mm-hmm.
think I had 3 tiramisus along with all the other food. I said,
Oh,
man, it was so good. It was so
you
good.
are
So,
you are a sweet lover.
oh yeah, I love
Yeah,
desserts and sweets for sure. Yep.
I prefer the salt dishes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for bringing the topic today. I appreciate it. And so we look forward to people joining us in the future and to listen to our discussion in a podcast or a video, doesn't matter, but to listen and to practice their English of listening. So thank you again, Juvenal.
Was a pleasure.
Have a good night. Bye bye, guys.
For you too. Bye bye, everybody.